In this part of the test, you will answer 3 questions. You will have 3 seconds to prepare after you hear each question. You will have 15 seconds to respond to questions 4 and 5, and 30 seconds to respond to question 6.
Imagine that a travel magazine is doing research in your area. You have agreed to participate in a telephone interview about taking breaks. Where do you like to go during your break time? How often do you go there?
Begin preparing now. Begin speaking now.
Do you think that you have enough time to rest these days?
Begin preparing now. Begin speaking now.
Do you prefer to read a book or take a walk in your free time?
Begin preparing now. Begin speaking now.
Imagine that a food magazine is doing research in your area. You have agreed to participate in a telephone interview about ice cream. How often do you eat ice cream? When do you usually eat it?
Begin preparing now. Begin speaking now.
How long do you usually stay at an ice cream place and why?
Begin preparing now. Begin speaking now.
What is the most important consideration in choosing a new ice cream place to go to? Interior of the store, a wide range of flavors, or the distance from home?
Begin preparing now. Begin speaking now.
Imagine that a travel bureau is doing research in your country. You have agreed to participate in a telephone interview about vacation. When was the last time you had a vacation, and how long was it?
Begin preparing now. Begin speaking now.
When traveling, do you prefer to go by yourself or with others? Why?
Begin preparing now. Begin speaking now.
When traveling abroad, which of the following things are you willing to do the most? Learning a new language, trying local food, or visiting tourist attractions?
Begin preparing now. Begin speaking now.
Imagine that a sports magazine is conducting a survey on shopping habits. You have agreed to participate in a telephone interview about shopping for sportswear. When did you last go shopping for sportswear? What did you buy?
Begin preparing now. Begin speaking now.
Do you prefer to go shopping alone or with other people? Why?
Begin preparing now. Begin speaking now.
How likely are you to shop for sportswear on the internet? Why?
Begin preparing now. Begin speaking now.
Imagine that a U.S. marketing firm is doing research in your country. You have agreed to participate in a telephone interview about shopping for sports equipment. When was the last time you went shopping for sports equipment and what did you buy?
Begin preparing now. Begin speaking now.
Where is the closest store to your home that sells sports equipment, and how far is it?
Begin preparing now. Begin speaking now.
Would you be more likely to buy a brand of sports equipment if a famous athlete advertised it? Why or why not?
Begin preparing now. Begin speaking now.
Imagine that you're talking on the phone with a friend. You're talking about food delivery service in your area. How often do you order delivery food? What kind of food do you usually order?
Begin preparing now. Begin speaking now.
How long are you willing to wait for delivery food to arrive?
Begin preparing now. Begin speaking now.
If you had to have food delivered to your home or office, what kind of food would you like to order the most? Why?
Begin preparing now. Begin speaking now.
Imagine that you're talking on the phone with a friend. You're talking about your friend's upcoming trip to your city. What's a fun place for a tourist to visit in your city, and what people do there?
Begin preparing now. Begin speaking now.
What is your favorite way to check the weather when you go on a trip?
Begin preparing now. Begin speaking now.
Do you take the weather into account when you travel abroad? Why or why not?
Begin preparing now. Begin speaking now.
Imagine that the Bureau of Transportation is doing research in your area. You have agreed to participate in a telephone interview about public transportation. When did you last take public transportation? Where did you go?
Begin preparing now. Begin speaking now.
How long does it take to get to school or work from your place?
Begin preparing now. Begin speaking now.
Which do you prefer, public transportation or car?
Begin preparing now. Begin speaking now.
Imagine that a local magazine is doing research in your area. They are collecting information to write an article about traveling by bus. How often do you travel by bus? Where do you usually go?
Begin preparing now. Begin speaking now.
What is the advantage of taking a bus compared to other modes of transportation?
Begin preparing now. Begin speaking now.
Do you think it's necessary to have more buses to service your area? Why or why not?
Begin preparing now. Begin speaking now.
Imagine that an English language newspaper is doing research in your country. They are collecting information to write an article about donation. Which organizations usually encourage you to make donations?
Begin preparing now. Begin speaking now.
What persuades you more to make a donation? Online or radio advertisements?
Begin preparing now. Begin speaking now.
If you were making a donation, which of the following organizations are you most likely to make a donation to? Museums, environmental organizations, or hospitals?
Begin preparing now. Begin speaking now.